So guys, with the Hydra rotation number 2 coming to an end in a week or so, we have the final chances to test out our teams for this rotation. The best team, honestly, for this rotation has become the Geomancer team for the Nightmare version, at least. So the Geomancer team is a more endgame required team because of all the other champions needing about 500 resist and 400 accuracy. And you need stuff like a Krisk in there. You need the Lydia to be in there for additional support through the strengthen buff, the speed up buff, and the other debuffs that she applies for more damage, of course. And it's the end game setup to have currently for the Hydra. But in my opinion, the best team for the Hydra is the one I'll be showing you guys today. It's called the 45-second Hydra team. I saw it first. I'll show you exactly where I saw this first, all right? The reason that I'm saying this is the best team is because it can one key normal, hard, and brutal. If you've got the champions multiple times, then power to you, because you might be able to do it on all difficulties right here up to brutal. But brutal does require a lot of gear, a lot of good gear, which I even didn't have. This team I saw first from, let me just show you. It wasn't from Boomer where I saw it first. I saw it from Stu. And then I realized from his video that he saw it from Boomer, where Boomer did a 45-second key for hard Hydra, where his Trunda almost one-shots one of the heads here immediately. So insane gear on that specific Trunda. I think it's a +4 Trunda, that's why. And also, he made a brutal version of this, but again, very, very hard to get stats. I'll show you guys my stats so you can compare if you can get somewhere close to it. I only had one Trunda with a Savage set. The other Trunda had an immunity set. I've done this also without 2 Trundas. I've done it with 1 Trunda. You don't need the 2 Trundas to make it work. You have to understand the idea behind it. And because Trunda is very unique on the way that she does damage with her A2 skill, all right? Very unique the way that she does damage with her A2 skill. That's why she is the best for this specific role, because it does damage based on the health of the heads, plus the heads take 2x damage when they are down and cut like this. All right, this was my run. I did 33.96 million. We'll have a look at that. Let's quickly have a look at the gear. This was my Arbiter, all right, my normal Arbiter, 364 speed. She was just there for extra speed boosting. Nothing too special in terms of changing stuff, okay? But she is fast, okay? I'm not sure if you can do it with much lower speeds. You can probably still do it, but she does need to be a little bit tanky. And I was even running a attack percent chest piece, because this is my chest piece that I have for her, and 1 piece of refresh, which didn't really proc, so that was it. Here's my Venus. Venus is better gear, 272 speed with 100% crit, 149 critical damage, 443 accuracy. All that isn't required for hard version. Honestly, you're just need about 300 for the hard version to be on the safe side. But I just had it there because I was also testing teams for the higher difficulties with her. And then let's have a look at the Shamael. You do need 1 Shamael there. I did have him equipped with some damage gear, so 231 critical damage, 100% crit, 214 on speed, 46,000 health, and 228 on the accuracy. A little bit of accuracy helps with removing the buffs. This is what I had on him, plus Giant Slayer, because Giant Slayer procs from his multiple hits that he does when the fears are removed from the Trunda, which has to be in the lead. I'll explain on how that works once we go forward. And then we also have Gerbtug in there. Gerbtug for the added damage through his poisons that he does apply to your own team. Plus, he has the added benefit of applying a block buffs, which helps on this specific rotation. And again, I'll be explaining that once we go through the run. I had him with my PvP masteries right here. They didn't change anything. I could have gone War Master instead, but PvP masteries, and the gear he has is 222 speed, almost 60,000 health with a 3,000 defense. Good amount of accuracy, so 327 for hard with a regen set. So he needs to regain some health quickly. This is a very good set to have, by the way, for the Hydra. It's like the MVP set for these past 2 months. All right, if you didn't have regen sets, you need to farm them. And then finally, for the Trundas, I'll give you an overview of my damage Trunda. This is my best Savage gear that I have available, plus the refresh gear, which these are intentionally on her. I do have better gear, better accessories, but not better refresh accessories. These are the two that I have for dwarves that can fit on Trunda. 100% crit, 254 crit damage, 183 on speed, and almost 7,000 attack. I think Boomer has like 8,000 attack or something, or I might be mistaken. He might have somewhere close, but it's an insane amount to have even the 6.8k that I do have. But 183 speed is quite low. She's gonna be in the lead, and she's gonna get some speed boosting through the Shamael Fear. Of course, maxed out skills, all right? And of course, masteries with Helm Smasher. If this procs, you do additionally 25% more ignore defense. Insane amount of damage. These are my PvP masteries as well. The same thing on this Trunda in terms of mastery skills. But the gear is the immunity, because this is my immunity Trunda. Very similar. About 6,000 attack, 185 speed, 280 critical damage. All right. So much less damage because of the Savage, but she does have 280% critical damage. So let's go in there. We'll have a look at how this works, and if you guys have something along those lines, you can use it as well. But have in mind that you don't need 2 Trundas, but 1 is definitely required because of how that A2 skill works on Trunda. It's a very specific skill. Unfortunately, there's no alternatives at the moment. I haven't seen any teams out there at the moment that replicate this amount of damage through single hits, because you can get about 10 million hits through your A2 right here. Attacks all other enemies with a second hit, dealing 60% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. But it doesn't just multiply like that. It multiplies based on the health of the initial target, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's go in and have a look at the team in action. Before we get started, I just want to say that I did do this run with just 1 Trunda also, and I did manage to get over the 1 key amount needed for the hard difficulty, so it's definitely doable. Definitely, if you have something that can help out with the damage, you can use it instead of a double Trunda, but the double Trunda makes it way easier. Right guys, so this is the run starting out. We've got the Arbiter boosting. I have the double Trunda. We need to have the defense down on weekend to land before we start out with our nuke rotation. All right, my Trunda is going to start out with her A3 instead of the A2 because she still doesn't have the poisons from Gerbtug, which gives her extra damage. All right, so that's going to be an additional boost to her damage potential, and the big boost to damage comes down, and look at that, 500,000 there from the immunity Trunda. And the Savage Trunda is going to go next, actually doing how much she did. She did about the same damage, as you can see. From all of that, we apply the H3 burn. So if my Trundas were better equipped, the head of Mischief right there would have been dead. And that's what you do with the run, basically. You'll see for the remaining of the run, what you're aiming to do is take down the heads. And the more heads you have actually managed to kill, the easier it becomes for you to get those big numbers more quickly. But the important thing is, once the heads are down, for you to apply the defense down weekend and an A2 from the Trundas. You have to be very careful with this run though, because if Arbiter dies, pretty much you don't have a reviver. You need to be healing her with Gerbtug right there. And also, if something bad happens, you have to be ready to click the escape button so that you don't miss out with your key. This can be very tricky. You can actually lose out a key with this specific team from the head of Wrath, because that head hits quite hard, even on the hard difficulty. On brutal is way more, and without a decreased attack, it can be you know, if you get some bad hits from the heads, you can actually die and lose out your key, and also lose out your good champions that you just invested in trying to get that 1 key damage in. So enjoy the rest of the fight. It's going to be a 2x speed from here on out, and you're just going to see it in action. It's nothing too special, but it does showcase the power of Trunda for this specific cheese kind of setup when the heads are down. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.